here with Piyush Gupta, CEO of DBS Bank. Piyush, in the first part of our interview, we discussed East and West leadership styles. I'd like to ask you a few questions about some of the things you've learned driving growth. Why don't you tell me what you think are some of the key challenges to driving growth in an environment that has so many different speeds of growth?
I guess, in our business in particular, one of the biggest challenges today is regulatory challenges. And I think that's broadly true, that even though the world is globalizing, a one-size-fits-all strategy does not work. And therefore, balancing a global agenda, a global product suite, a global strategy with what works on the ground in countries from a regulatory framework is not easy. So I think you have to figure how do you drive a growth agenda which leverages on scale, leverages on competencies, but is nuanced for local markets, both from a regulatory and from a consumer preference standpoint. I think that is a big challenge. The other big challenge to me in today's world is clearly the issue around technology. The world is changing dramatically on the back of internet, telecoms, what have you. So everybody knows what happened to Kodak and what happened to Borders and what happened to several other business models. To be able to drive growth in this kind of environment means being really nimble. You have to be willing to cannibalize your young. But at the same time, you've got to figure how you keep your core business going while you quickly shift into a new growth on a new growth platform. That's not an easy shift to make.
And how do you ensure that your management team is aligned on that?
There are several ways you can try and do it. And I've seen, for example, when I was at Citi several years ago, we tried to create a completely different part of the company. eCity we called it. And we said this will be the innovation part of the company aligned to the new ways of growth, independent of the rest of the businesses. I found that that wasn't particularly successful because the people who run the businesses, the business managers, to my mind, they need to take ownership for what the future of their business is going to be. Otherwise you can wind up creating a white elephant. What we've done at DBS is we've created an innovation office which is very small. So whose job it is to look around, look for ideas and opportunities and help seed them within the business. And then working closely with the businesses, we set up an agenda for how we can take some of these ideas and then really marry them and work them into the fabric of the business.
You spoke about the importance of innovation. How are you involving your customers in the innovation process?
We've started doing a couple of things. Social, I think, will be big, and frankly, is big. So we decided that what we need to do is leverage social media so we can engage with customers ahead of time. So like most companies, we are on Facebook and we are on Twitter. But let me give you an example. Last year, we wanted to design a new branch. And we wanted to design what we thought would be a paperless, iconic branch. So we set up a Facebook competition for anybody on Facebook to come up with a branch design idea which they thought made sense. It became a big competition. People from all over Singapore came in and sent us ideas. We finally selected a couple of kids and then we hired them. And we said, okay, now we love your idea, we give you an award, and now can you come and join us and build this branch for us? And so they did. So they came and worked for us, and we've created a branch. It's off Orchard Road. It's we call it DBS Remix at Scape. It's paperless. It's based on large tablets. It's a really fun branch. And so we think actually this whole thing about not made for you, but made by you is something that can really work.
The growth of retail banking is an element of your growth strategy, and e-banking is certainly a part of that. Tell us a little bit more about how you're driving that growth strategy.
If you think about the whole internet world, the e-banking space, it's relevant in many different dimensions. For us, in the first instance, it is about customer acquisition. In the past, when we went to a customer, we started engaging with the customer well after the customer had made their decision choices. So you want to buy a home, you'd find a home, and then you'd come to us and say, hey, can I look for a mortgage? What e-banking and the new world lets us do is start engaging with you way before you've even chosen your home. We believe that with mobile technology and mobile apps, we have the opportunity to start engaging with you months before we would normally have engaged with you. We can start telling you stuff about houses in the location. We can start telling you stuff about what kind of financing would be available if you bought in place A versus place B. So we can start the engagement process much quicker. Then even at the time of sale, today you come and fill in reams of forms. If you're really good, you can actually get online and you can even fill in a form. We're trying to get to a stage where the whole interface is tablet assisted, self-directed, and done in the course of natural conversation. And we start trying to do that in a way that we don't make you repeat yourself, right? We sort of build your preferences and build your behavior, so we have something ready for you to sign on without you even knowing that you're filling in the form. So the acquisition process changes entirely. Then clearly the end-to-end execution process. If you're electronic and digitized and start electronically, it changes the way we can process. We can go straight through, which means what took us normally 2 days to do, transfer your money from point A to point B, we can now do in seconds. A third dimension is just what's increasingly called big data. So today we can leverage our knowledge and information of what people are doing because we have the data and help you make more informed judgments, help you get better choices from around things that you can be doing, what others are doing. And this is the Amazon kind of thing, right? So other people bought a book and other people like you bought a book. So we do that increasingly in the banking space. We're trying to bring all of this together, therefore, to get convenience, speed, and a much richer product proposition out to you as a consumer than we could do in the past.
Let's recap some key points from our interview for growth leaders. First, growth leaders have to focus on both exploring new opportunities and leveraging their existing assets and capabilities. Secondly, leaders must be able to see the opportunities technology offers for improving communication and engagement with customers throughout the business lifecycle. And third, look at innovation as a social process, one that requires the active involvement of employees, customers, and the broader community. Many thanks, Piyush.
Thank you for having me again.
And thank you for joining us on Driving Growth.